Hey Pilates teachers, it's Linda Lippin here. So a very interesting question came up in my free Pilates teacher mastermind group over this week. And the question was about a client who doesn't understand the single leg kick mat exercise. And basically what the teacher asked was, I keep trying to explain to her that it's an abdominal exercise and she doesn't feel it there. And this to me is kind of a question that points out one of the failures of some Pilates teacher training programs, and I'll explain why. There are some exercises that are clearly primarily abdominal exercises. The 100 is one of those. The abdominal series of 5 with the single leg stretch, double leg stretch, and all those are another example of that, right? These are exercises that clearly clients will feel or should feel in their abdominal muscles because they're coming into spinal flexion, maintaining it, and that is what is the purpose of the abdominals. So there's that. But if you look at an exercise like single leg kick, where it's all posterior chain, where it's clearly a hamstring curl, we're holding the spine in hyperextension and we're pulling the heel towards the seat, which is what the primary purpose of those hamstrings. And if you lift the legs, then we also get into the glutes and really the top hip extension portion of the hamstrings. And the abdominals are simply supporting us in that movement. It is not, my friends, it is not predominantly an abdominal exercise, and I don't know why we would even teach it that way. I also tend to steer away from telling clients where they should feel an exercise. For example, I have a lot of numbness in my lower abdominals because I have had multiple abdominal surgeries, including a total abdominal hysterectomy. So say for an exercise like teaser, I don't always feel it in my deep abdominal muscles. They're working, and they're obviously working. And sometimes I'll feel soreness in them a day later. But oftentimes what I feel primarily in teaser is my adductors. I have some nerve issues down my legs, again, from the surgeries and from having had shingles multiple times in my sciatic nerve. So what I often feel is I'll feel my adductors primarily in teaser, assisting that flexion of the lifting of my legs and the posterior pelvic tilt, and not my abdominal muscles. Now, does that mean they're not working? Absolutely not. It just means I don't feel them. So for you to tell me that I must not be doing it well or doing it properly if I don't feel my abdominal muscles in teaser is just a load of crap. Because I am doing the exercise properly and it is working and those abs are working. I just don't feel them. Okay, so I have really gotten out of the habit of telling my clients where they should feel things. I do often, however, tell them where I don't want them to feel things. So for example, in single leg kick, I'm like, if you feel this like you're caving into your chest, not so good. We need to open those collarbones. If you feel pinching in your lower back, it means you're sinking into your lower back and not using your abdominals enough for support. You might not feel the abdominals, but I don't want you to feel the lower back. Okay. If they're feeling primarily the front of the thigh because they're getting a stretch in the front of the thigh because they're tight in that area and not primarily feeling the hamstrings, again, that's awesome, because if they're using their hamstrings and really getting that heel towards the seat, they're going to feel some stretch in the hip flexors in the front of the thigh. Again, this can change depending on the person. This can change depending on the exercise. And these are the things that we as Pilates teachers should really be thinking about. How are we talking about these exercises? Are we really understanding what these exercises are for and what their primary purpose is in terms of the muscles used? If you're not sure, ask. If you don't know, find out. There are tons of us out here in the online space, whether doing free work, whether doing paid work, who are happy to answer your questions. I do both. I have a free Facebook group, Pilates Teacher Mastermind. I also have a monthly VIP program that is all accredited through PMA and gives continuing education credits and offers, hours of workshops every month, along with a whole archive of workshops. And you can kind of ask me questions either way, right? Depending on where you are. So that is my rant for this weekend. Um, work with your clients, look at those exercises, understand properly what the point of the exercise is, and then teach your clients the actual exercises. Don't worry about necessarily where they feel them or don't feel them. Just make sure that they're not feeling them in inappropriate places and that they are doing the exercises correctly. And that's really all we can do. So have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.